in understanding our scripture text, we go back to verse 35. In Luke 12, Jesus says, "Be dressed ready for service and keep your lamps burning, like men waiting for their master to return from a wedding banquet, so that when he comes and knocks, they can immediately open the door for him. It will be good for those servants whose masters find them watching when he comes. I tell you the truth, he will dress himself to serve, will have them recline at the table, and will come and wait on them." Jesus is, this is the parable that Peter asked about. And they understood what it was like for a servant to be waiting for his master to return from a wedding banquet. And what that meant was everything was in order. When the master left and said, "Take care of things," things were taken care of. And that servant was standing ready. That master, when he came home, probably didn't have to knock. They'd see him coming and say, "Here comes the master," and they'd be ready for him. They'd be ready to receive him, and as soon as he came there, they'd have that door open because they had all things ready. And they'd be waiting for him to come. They were prepared, they were set for service, and they honored their master when he said, "Hey, take care of things while I'm gone." Because essentially, that's what Jesus has said to us. Verse 38 says, "It will be good for those servants whose masters find them ready, even if he comes in the second or third watch of the night. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known of what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come in an hour when you do not expect him." This would be considered a warning. Jesus saying that we should always be ready because we don't know when he's coming. And that means that our stewardship will come into question when he comes. It was to that Peter asked, "Lord, are you telling this parable to us or to everyone?" Good old Peter, always wanted to know, I got to do all that? I got to be ready all the time. Were you talking to them or us? Well, the answer to this question, as we read this already, the answer to that question is he was talking to everyone, because there's levels of stewardship. So it's whatever our stewardship, what level we're at in our stewardship, that's where we have to be ready. He is speaking to everyone. In whatever capacity it is that God has given you to be a steward and what he's placed you over, you have to look. Now watch the danger here. In verse 44, he says, "I tell you the truth, I will put him in charge of all his possessions." That's the good one. 45 says, "But suppose the servant says to himself, my master has taken a long time in coming." Does anybody think that about Jesus? We sing a song, "Jesus coming soon," but is anybody really worried about Jesus coming soon? Because he has not come, and it's been over 2,000 years, is the sense of urgency gone? Are we not afraid anymore? Jesus coming soon, so what? What's that mean? It's so in the distance, we placed it so far away that certain priorities are not given anymore. We don't care about the priorities of the church because Jesus coming soon does not scare anybody. I wonder that. Because some of the things that we are worried about, some of the concerns that we have at this congregation are a little beyond kingdom of heaven issues. They're not kingdom of heaven issues. And I wonder if we took our concerns straight to Jesus and said, "Jesus, I'm concerned about this because it's messing up what I do here." What would he say? What would he say about that? "Jesus, I'm sick of people getting up in service. It's bothering the way I worship you." I wonder what would he say? I wonder how, or even if we mentioned that to him, if he was here. Would our concerns be concerns if we were telling them to Jesus? Would they be concerns? Or are we missing the bigger picture? That's another lesson. But he says, "My master has taken a long time in coming." And he then begins to beat the men servants and maid servants and to eat and drink and get drunk. Two things are there. He begins to mistreat people in relationships, and he doesn't honor God with his living, his daily living, because he gets drunk and all of that. He treats people wrong. So the very two things of godly living in the relationships that we have, this steward is violating. And he's doing that because Jesus took too long to come. So since Jesus took too long to come, it wasn't enough to just continue to serve and to honor him and to love and forgive. It wasn't enough for that. He had to then now begin to mistreat, to cause trouble, to sow discord. Because of the long time in coming, he began to sin. Verse 46 says, the